there is no way that 8 different fires starting within a period of 48 hours in LA is due to climate change. You want to tell me that insurance companies canceling people's policies in these areas over the past few months, officials cutting firefighting funding, emptying water reservoirs, and being more concerned about sending aid to another country is just coincidence? Okay.
So, as we've heard, World Economic Forum Insider reveals LA wildfires were engineered to seize land for 15-minute cities.
They're rewilding. It sounds like a nature documentary, doesn't it? A gentle return to harmony with the earth. But it's not. It's a scorched earth strategy, economic, social, and cultural sabotage disguised as progress. I should know. I've sat in the rooms where the plans are whispered and rubber stamped. For years, I convinced myself that it was just another cog in the machine, doing my part for humanity. But now, the truth is unavoidable. 2025 will make the chaos of the last few years look like a warm-up act. The stage is already being set. Terror attacks are being orchestrated in secret meetings. Biological weapons are being fine-tuned in labs. Natural disasters? Engineered through a mix of negligence and weaponized technology. Every event, every crisis is another step toward their endgame. Total demoralization and absolute control. Take the fires in Los Angeles. They weren't just some tragic accident or act of nature. They were the result of deliberate failures at every level of government. Failures carefully designed to create the perfect conditions for devastation. The refusal to clear brush, the slashed firefighting budgets, the water reservoirs left untapped. All of it was intentional groundwork. The spark itself? That was cutting-edge directed energy weapons, deployed with precision to ensure maximum destruction. The result? Chaos, fear, and despair. But it's not just about the destruction itself. That's only step one. Step two is what comes after. The land these people lived on, their homes, their communities, it will be seized under the guise of rebuilding. In its place will rise the 15-minute cities they've been planning all along, tightly controlled hubs where freedom will be a distant memory. The fires are just one piece of the puzzle. This is a siege by design, a meticulously crafted system of economic and industrial warfare that has been in the works for decades. They've called for an end to industrialized civilization. No farming, no fertilizer, no dams, no reservoirs. Society itself is being dismantled piece by piece. Your children are being attacked, your culture being eroded, and the nuclear family, once the bedrock of civilization, is being systematically destroyed. This isn't some accident or the result of incompetence. This is a deliberate, calculated attack, and it's happening everywhere. America, Europe, Australia. It's a global effort. They've been developing this system since the 1950s. They know exactly what they're doing. The end goal? A post-industrial world where humanity is stripped of independence, self-sufficiency, and even the will to fight back. When the terror attacks multiply, when Americans are tortured and killed on live television to strike fear into the hearts of the world, it will only be the next act in this grim play. The chaos will be overwhelming, but chaos is the point. A demoralized, broken population is easier to control. I've seen the documents, I've heard the conversations. This isn't a theory, it's a plan. They want to reduce us to ashes, and from those ashes, they'll build their new world. But it won't be a world for us. It will be a world for them. The question is, how long will the people let it continue? How long will we allow their siege to advance unchallenged? Because, make no mistake, they won't stop unless we make them.
The Los Angeles wildfires were orchestrated by the globalist elites to poison our air, water and soil and redistribute property into the hands of the elites, according to a World Economic Forum insider who warns that build back better literally means destroying things first and then rebuilding according to New World Order plans.
How do we build back better?
To build back better or whatever.
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it build back better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
It's my plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education and mental health and start to build back in a positive way.
I have launched a booklet called Build Back Better, written after coronavirus.
It's about building this country back better.
Growing conspiracy following it. It is called the Great Reset.
An unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live.
The great opportunity for reset.
The theory even calls Mr. Biden's campaign slogan, Build Back Better, a front for the conspiracy.
Build back better.
Building back better our economy.
Build back better.
All elements of the Great Reset are fundamental to building the future we need.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
It's a big effort to, some would say, to build back better. We would say to really have a great reset.
Conspiracy, conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
The global elite have chosen LA as ground zero for a calculated assault on the people, paving the way for the rapid transformation of the disaster zone into 15-minute cities. These so-called smart cities are nothing more than vast outdoor prisons designed to trap ordinary citizens with no way out. This evil plan has been in the work for years, and now we are seeing it play out in all its grisly details before our very eyes. The last 5 years have been a relentless psychological attack. It started with the chaos of COVID and has only escalated since. Wars breaking out, the slow bleed of economic collapse, shameless price gouging, and the ever-tightening grip of authoritarianism. We are constantly under the cold, unflinching gaze of the surveillance state. Polarizing media narratives keep fueling division, dividing the people and baiting us towards civil unrest. They won't stop talking about the next pandemic, all while meddling with nature in reckless ways, gain-of-function experiments and self-replicating vaccines and poisons in the air, water and food. And the worst part? They flaunt their power, making it painfully clear there's nothing that we can do to stop them. Having brought their COVID series to an end, the globalist elites are moving on to their next phase. What's next? The answer is mayhem. Total and utter mayhem. We are barely 1 week into 2025, and already we have had terror attacks in America and direct energy weapons orchestrated deadly fires in the heart of Los Angeles. Make no mistake, These fires are not natural. They are the worst wildfires in LA history, and evidence is mounting that they were sparked by direct energy weapons deployed from Area 51. Of course, Gavin Newsom has wasted no time blaming climate change, a more convenient narrative for his commie-formia government. And there is just one problem. The wildfires are not behaving quite like normal fires, and they appear to be originating from Area 51 in Nevada, as Into Thin Air reports. Just like before 9/11, major insurance companies seemed to know exactly what was coming, perfectly aligning their plans and pulling policies just before the fires devastated Los Angeles.
For 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
Insurance companies have now admitted to cancelling fire policies on hundreds of thousands of homes in the LA area over the past few months, leaving countless families vulnerable and unprotected. The mainstream media are desperate to dismiss these claims as conspiracy theories. But we know for a fact that direct energy weapons are not conspiracy theories, they are conspiracy facts. Just like in Maui, the areas hardest hit by the fires are those earmarked for the transformation into 15-minute cities, projects pushed forward despite resistance from local homeowners. The Palisades, the most devastated neighborhood, is not only set to host the 2028 Olympics, but had already been designated as a future model smart city. In the months ahead, land owned by families for generations will be ripped away from them, stolen right from beneath their charred homes. And to add insult to injury, FEMA will offer them $70 as compensation. The elites are brazen. They are not even trying to pretend this wasn't a giant setup.
We are looking at Area 51. As these fires are going on in Southern California, they are laying something over Area 51. It's then being shot by the Next-Rad radar system. You can see that clear as day right here. It is then expanding and being dropped right over Southern California. And then take a look at what happens to Area 51. This is totally insane. This is not normal, and this is not birds or bugs. I can promise you that. There is something very odd going on with the military or something that's taking place in Area 51 and then being dropped in the sky, which is then carried over by the jet stream or some sort of wind pattern into Southern California. I talked about this yesterday when we predicted these wildfires based on a northwest anomaly that we saw, again from the Next-Rad radar system, which then led to insane wildfires in Ventura County. Now we are seeing more and more of this being dumped over Area 51 and then flows into Southern California. What is going on here? And then look at how the Next-Rad towers go absolutely berserk. There is no chance that this isn't related, my friends. This is now 2 days in a row we have captured this happening over Area 51 and flowing down into Southern California, exactly where these wildfires are. And I know a lot of people will give us a hard time for talking about this, but how can you not? This is not a coincidence whatsoever, and I'm going to continue digging into this to see exactly how long they continue this for. If you look close enough, you can find stuff like this every day on these satellite charts. Alright, so one final time, let's dissect this right here. We have it dropped over Area 51, a perfect lineup with where the base is, and just like yesterday, as soon as it's laid out, we have the zap coming from the radar, the same one coming from Nevada right here. Then we have the expansion as it moves into Southern California. Just like yesterday, those radars start going off and crazy. And that's when this disco party begins in Nevada. Check this out. This is just unbelievable to see happening and then have no one point this out. Just as the cloud is getting over Southern California where all the wildfires are, we start seeing the next red towers from different states crisscrossing right over Area 51. Those are where our scalar beams are happening. And this is just insane to watch. You can see that cloud dissipating over Southern California and the Baja. We'll backtrack. You can see it come back and it originates right over Area 51.
Governor Newsom blocked the release of vital water from mountain reservoirs, depriving firefighters of a critical resource. For over 2 decades, Democrats have refused to maintain fire mitigation systems or clear bush from high-stake areas, allowing these tinder boxes to grow unchecked. Meanwhile, the Biden administration imposed a no-fly zone over LA, grounding state and local firefighting aircraft in the midst of the inferno. Adding insult to injury, LA's newly appointed DEI-focused fire chief openly stated her priority was enforcing diversity quotas, not fighting fires or managing disasters. This same chief supported slashing $17.5 million from the fire department budget. And where is Mayor Karen Bass, you ask? She was in Ghana on a taxpayer-funded junket while her city burned, refusing to address the crisis or even acknowledge the displaced victims upon her return. To top it off, the LA City Council has spent the last 2 years diverting a significant portion of the firefighting budget and even equipment to Ukraine, leaving their own city woefully unprepared for this disaster. This isn't negligence, it's betrayal. And according to a World Economic Forum insider, it's all by design and there is much worse to come. The globalist war on our health went into overdrive with the COVID pandemic, and now the elite have reached the next phase of their long-heralded plan. In the occult belief held by the elite, fire is seen as a force of purification. Fire and blood sacrifices have been performed for Moloch across various civilizations for centuries. Thanks to WikiLeaks emails, we know Hillary Clinton performed one in her back garden in 2016. This dark occult practice was also mentioned in the Bible. Jeremiah chapter 19 verse 5 reads, "They have built the high places of Baal to burn their children in the fires as offerings to Baal, something I did not command or mention, nor did it enter my mind." The ancient practice of blood sacrifices hasn't disappeared, it's evolved. Once children were sacrificed to Baal in ancient Carthage, now in the age of mass media, the occult elite stages massive rituals designed to be witnessed by the entire world. Why? To amplify their magical potency and increase their power over humanity. The LA wildfires are part of this plot against humanity, according to a WEF insider who warns that 2025 will be a year of carnage and chaos. And while you might think the year has started with a bang, you have not seen anything yet. The globalist elite are actively poisoning us, shortening lifespans and orchestrating a massive depopulation agenda, all while using these crises as a pretext to enforce draconian climate policies like lockdowns and punitive taxes. Unnatural directed wildfires are just one tool in their arsenal, giving the New World Order the perfect excuse to tighten their grip. According to Biden's climate czar, John Kerry, the global elites are preparing to get even more militants in their push for control. There's no way to interpret this. These are the unmistakable echoes of war drums. The elite understand the sick and twisted game they are playing with humanity, and it will lead to chaos and to disruption. Klaus Schwab has been threatening to unleash catastrophic natural disasters for years now. He gave us a heads up years ago and told us to prepare to live in an angrier world.
It penetrates the cabinets.
So change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us. We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? Takes the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
The globalist elite plan for the Great Reset threatens the total collapse of human civilization as we know it. This is a pivotal moment in history, and it's one we must rise against with everything that we've got.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Jesus' suffering on the cross is a picture difficult to understand. He was betrayed by a friend, arrested and falsely sentenced to death. He was beaten and whipped. A crown made of thorns pressed into his head. Bearing the cross, he stumbled and staggered up the hill to Golgotha. Each step of the journey getting worse, spit on, cursed, and mocked. But Jesus never looked back. He kept going. Jesus could have avoided the cross, called down fire from heaven, or summoned legions of angels to rescue him, to save him. But Jesus was not interested in saving himself. He was all about saving you. Every detail of this torturous path to the cross was part of God's plan to bring you to him. We're all broken. We've all messed up and have all made wrong choices. And no one had to teach us as a baby about anger and selfishness. We just came out that way. Sort of a sin covering. But on the cross, with his blood he shed, the Bible says Jesus blotted out our record of sin, nailing it to his cross. The blood of Jesus washes away our sin covering. And his blood is our ticket to enter through a new door, a forever relationship door with God. So what do we do with this great news? The Bible says if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. You see, it's not enough to believe in Jesus with just your head. You must believe with your heart. Now, there's just one person alone at the foot of the cross. It is you. What will you say to Jesus?
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!